Have you ever felt too close to a problem in order to see it clearly? Like you're staring at pixels instead of the whole picture? Today I'm going to share with you one of the most powerful mental resets available for any leader or any entrepreneur and any spouse, parent, coach, or friend. A conversation that could literally save your business, save your career, any major project or relationship that you have. But first, let me take you back to the 1980s. Intel, now a household name in computing, was in trouble, deep trouble. Their stock was plummeting. Japanese competitors were flooding the market with cheaper memory chips, Intel's core business at the time. The company was hemorrhaging money and market share. Intel's president, Andy Grove, and CEO, Gordon Moore, were facing what seemed like an impossible situation. Then Grove asked Moore a question that would change everything. He asked, if we got kicked out and the board brought in a new CEO, what do you think they would do? Moore's answer was immediate and crystal clear. They would get us out of memory chips. Grove stared at him and said, why shouldn't you and I walk out the door, come back, and do it ourselves? That single conversation led to one of the most successful pivots in business history. Intel abandoned memory chips, the very product that had made their company, and went all in on microprocessors. And the rest, as they say, is history. Intel became the dominant force in computer chips for decades to come. But here's what fascinates me about this story. Both Grove and Moore already knew that they needed to exit the memory chip business. The data was clear. The trends were obvious. The financial reality was staring them in the face. But they couldn't see it, or more accurately, they couldn't act on it until they mentally stepped outside of themselves and looked at the situation from an outsider's perspective. This is what I call the outsider reset, and it might be the most powerful decision-making tool that you're not using. Here's why it works. When you're deeply involved in a business, in a career, or in a relationship, or in a project, you develop blind spots, emotional attachment to past decisions, sunk cost fallacy, making you cling to failing strategies, status quo biases, making change feel more risky than staying put, identity entanglement, where your self-worth becomes tied to current approaches. These psychological forces create a powerful resistance to change, even when change is desperately needed. The outsider reset cuts through all of that by temporarily removing your psychological investment in the status quo. So here's how to use it. And keep in mind, these steps are the same if you want to improve your business or improve your marriage or parenting or anything else. Step one, the outsider scenario. Imagine that you've been replaced. A new person with your exact knowledge, but none of your emotional baggage is now in charge. What would they do? Step two, the brutal honesty phase. Be ruthlessly honest about what that outsider would change. No defensiveness, no justifications, just clarity. Step three, the identity detachment. Recognize that changing direction isn't an admission of failure. It's a sign of wisdom and adaptability. Step four, the bold action plan. Walk out the door and come back in, like Grove and Moore did. Mentally recommit to your business, project, or career or relationship, and as if you were starting fresh today. I've used this technique countless times throughout my career, and I've guided many business leaders through it as well. The results are often stunning. A publishing executive realized that he needed to shut down their most prestigious but unprofitable publication, something he knew but couldn't admit, couldn't get him to do until he ran through this exercise. An app developer discovered that she was pouring resources into features her customers didn't value while ignoring what they had actually wanted. A sales leader finally recognized his compensation structure was incentivizing exactly the wrong behaviors from his team. In each case, they already had the information that they needed. The outsider perspective just gave them the permission to act on it. So here's my challenge to you today. Take out your Darren Daily Journal and answer this question with complete honesty. If somebody replaced me tomorrow, what would they change immediately? Don't filter it, don't justify it. Just write. And then ask, why am I not making those changes myself? The answers might surprise you, and they might just save your business, career, or marriage. Because sometimes the most valuable perspective isn't from a consultant, a mentor, or a coach. It's from the outsider who already exists within you, if you'll just give them permission to speak. So, share in the comments, what would your replacement change first? I'd love to hear your insights.